Introduction to C# reflection. To .NET reflection. Reflection allows you to list information about the assemblies. The assemblies are the way .NET compiles your application. So you can see that in this small application, when I go to the binary folder, you will see that we have a list of files such as this exe, and in other cases we will have DLLs here. Those exe and DLL are assemblies, and they are pretty much all the files where your code is compiled. With reflection, you can get information from those files. You can get information such as the types that you have defined, the variables, the properties, the methods, the constructors that you have defined there, even how the parameters the methods require. And you also are able to create objects dynamically from those DLLs by using reflection and execute methods from those objects dynamically or programmatically. That means that you can extend your application at runtime. You can build codes at runtime and execute methods in those DLLs through reflection. So what we will do first is we will create a small Windows Forms application. We will have this name, Solution Reflection Demo SLN, and the project name will be Reflection Demo. This will have a small form where you will add a tree view. The tree view, you can get it from the toolbox under all Windows Forms. You will see here, you will see the tree view here. So after you do that, you will go to properties and you will change the name to TRB Assemblies. And now we will list the assemblies that are being executed. So you will see something like this. At the moment, you will see this. You will see a Windows Forms application with a tree view, and this tree view will have all the DLLs or the assemblies that are loaded when the application is running. You can expand on those and you will see all the types which are defined in those assemblies. If you expand on some of the types, you will see properties and you will see methods. Okay, how do we do that? So we implement the load event for the form. We create a small method named list executing assemblies. This list executed assemblies, what we'll do is just get the assemblies loaded in the current domain. This will return an array of assembly. This array will have the information of all the assemblies which are loaded in the current domain. We will iterate through this array we want to iterate it sorted by name, so we can add them alphabetically. We will now add a new node to the tree view. This nodes is the tree view is built in a way of nodes hierarchy, so each node has nodes, and you can add more nodes to each of those nodes. So that's very neat. So we can create nodes like properties, and then under this node add the properties, and then another node named methods at the same level of properties, and to this methods node add the methods. Okay, so now we will iterate through the types sorted by name. We will create these two nodes, one for properties and one for methods. And then we will iterate through the properties sorted by name, so we can add the properties alphabetically. And we will iterate through the methods sorted by name, so we can add the methods alphabetically. And that is what allows us to see what we are seeing when the application is running. Now, there are certain things here. For example, if you see, we have this reflection demo, which is the current application. We have this form 1, we have properties, and we have methods. And you see that here, our list, our method for name list executing assemblies is not showing. That's because of this. Most of these get properties, get methods have overriding methods, overload methods. So you can have one which you set binding flags. The binding flags allows you to decide which kind of properties or methods you want. For example, the ones this tells that reflection should create an instance of the type. This tells that you want methods which are non-public, for example, private. So we see that this private, this method is private. So if I were to change this to public, and we leave it like this, we should probably see that method in the list. So we expand reflection demo, we expand form 1, we expand methods, and now we see this list executing assemblies. So we see that the default method without binding flags, it just lists the public ones. So let's specify non-public in here. We load the application again, reflection demo, form 1, and methods. And now we see that it's not showing it's not showing anything. So we have to add also create instance, because in order to be able to use this method, we need an instance of the class. Let's see now. Reflection demo, form 1. Okay, so we still don't see it. Go. So now we see that here we can see it. To be able to list it, I had to add this. This specifies that we want the instance members, and this specifies that we want also the non-public, and we also want the public ones. We pretty much want everything. So now we list it again. We expand this, and we see that we have those methods there. Now, let's see what else we can find. We know that these are methods, so let's see what things we can get from the methods. Single method in type. We can get a list of parameters. So let's create nodes, parameters, node equals single method node, nodes, okay. Now for each parameter in actually this one we won't sort it by name. We will get them in the actual order. Method parameters node, nodes, to that single parameter name. We wait for the application to load. And we will see, for example, let's go to system data. And data initialize, this is an interface. Okay, this doesn't have methods. Let's see something in the form. set desktop location. It has parameters X and Y. We could do something like this. String with the parameter info equals string.format, the name, the type, single parameter.name, single parameter type. Let's see how that shows up. So we were on reflection demo, we were on form 1, methods, and we saw the one that was named set desktop location, I believe, or set location. Set desktop location, parameters, and now we see that we have a parameter named X, which receives an integer, and Y receives an integer. Okay. So that's one way to do this. Now, we will now do this. We will do list executing assemblies through reflection. Okay. What we will do here is assembly, or actually application domain, current domain, executing assembly, or actually we will do it like this. Type the type will give us the actual type for the form. We will invoke a method name list executing assemblies. We will give it the binding flags, so we will tell it in public, create instance, actually no, in public, and instance members. We won't set a binder here. The target will be this, and this does not have. This one is expecting, let's see, name, the flags, the binder, target, and arguments. We won't have arguments. We will use try catch. So here, this gets the current type. So this one have the type of the form. This in theory should have a method name list executing assemblies. And now this says must specify binding flags describing the invoke operation required. Invoke method. And now we see that it actually is now invoking this method. And we see that it already loaded. So what it did basically was we loaded the type, we invoke the member of this type using reflection. So this is everything for now. The place where you will download the code will be in the description.